11 Sports and For the Fans welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
You are looking live at the River Thames and the famous Parliament here in London, England. Home of the Knights, not too far away. Their representing ground is Queensway as the SFL goes London calling as the London Knights take on the Chicago Wildcats. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Colin Northrup. Rick Northrup is my color analyst.
Good afternoon or evening.
In the UK. Art Vandelay and Benji Matson are our statisticians for today. For the Knights, they're looking to get back on track. They've had a couple of close losses to start the year. For Chicago, they're looking to carry the momentum from last week's win over St. Louis forward to today.
Should be a good battle here today, Colin, in the home of the British Empire.
E.T. King, captain for the Wildcats. Wins the toss of the coin, and we'll get to see that defense on the field first for Chicago. Rick.
Yes, Colin.
These are two teams that are very similar in a lot of ways, but different in others. What do you expect today?
Well, I think, as you mentioned, London's lost some close games. They're very competitive. Chicago's trying to keep that train rolling. But I wouldn't be surprised if we've got a narrow back-and-forth affair.
Rob Ems to kick off for the Wildcats. And we're underway from London. The return up the middle for the Knights. That is Dustin Zeck, the wide receiver. We'll get him up to the 23. So we'll get our first look at the throwing Scottish man.
Scottishman. I think that's called, let's say
Scotsman Angus McLean. Number 13 in his backfield mates are Icky Swift, the fullback, and Robert Merrill, the tailback. We'll see Merrill.
Let's load up that backfield right here, Colin.
Get the first carry of the game and spins ahead for a pickup of 1 yard to the 24. Other weapons complementing McLean are wide receivers Fox Hywen, Van Kalia, Dustin Zeck, and the tight ends are Dayton Rhodes and Benji Matson. We'll get to Chicago's defense after this play as Angus McLean steps up under center. Changes the play to the line of scrimmage. Will turn. Give off to Iggy Swift up the middle, and the fullback moves swiftly toward the first down marker. Oh, will mark him less than a yard short of first down.
Swiftly, you say. He said cleverly.
Third down and inches. They line up with Rhodes in the backfield, along with Swift and Merrill. And Merrill easily gets the first down before he's wrapped up by Buddy Blaze, the outside linebacker, number 58.
We got our first movement of the sticks, courtesy of your London Knights.
London again and playing a three-back set. Benji Matson, the inline tight end. McLean changing the play. Give off again to Merrill, and Robert Merrill has all kinds of running room before he's wrapped up at the midfield stripe. First down, London.
Just kind of a simple concept there, Colin. If you noticed, the Wildcats had overloaded their defensive secondary to the side of the single wideout. So running to the left side of the formation for London gave them at least a two-hat advantage going over there, and they break it for another first down.
Angus McLean under center and an empty back set. He'll throw deep. Oh, it's dropped. And that's unusual for the former wide receiver turned tailback. Dropped that one, 2nd and 10.
Maybe we'll get another look at that placement of the ball, but it certainly appeared to be a catchable throw. And I'll go back to that full backfield with the single wideout. If Chicago keeps sort of misplaying that on defense, that could be a real money formation for them.
2nd and 10 from the 50. 8:50 to go in the first quarter. London with the first drive of the game. Angus McLean, 7-step drop, going deep. It is caught. It's caught. It's been Kadia.
He had like a little force shield on him after he caught the ball as the defensive secondary man suddenly has like a 4-yard gap and has to recover to try and make the tackle.
1st and 10 on the 11. There's the look at Kadia, London's leading wide receiver. It's part of a 3-wide set, split backs in the backfield. Here's the handoff up the middle to Swift. His second carry picks up 2. For this Chicago defense, up front they have defensive ends Mar Rivers and Khalid Thomas. Gerald Giudice and Denny Stenson are the defensive tackles. Linebackers are Clint Endershot and Buddy Blaze. Corners are Ron Hoff, Kanye Rockefeller, and Jesse Vick. Jack Hexaw and Ryan Yosef are the safeties. 2nd down and 8. Empty shotgun formation for McLean. Back to throw. Throws over the middle. It is caught by Zach. And Zach will be stopped the yard short of the first down at the 2.
They had 3 wide tight to the left side of the formation, Colin, and they were intent on flooding the end zone with receivers. He finds the underneath man, but can't punch through for the score. Bring up 3rd and 1. Here we go
For
again.
the Knights.
Chicago plays it better here on the secondary alignment.
Here's the kid DeMero going wide, and he will not get in the end zone. He's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made on the play by number 42, Neil Patel, the backup strong safety. And London will be forced to kick what is essentially a field goal. Oh, wait, the offense is on the field.
Oh, it's a steering contest. I'll bet you a donut, eh? We'll go to Timmy's to get a coffee and a donut.
McLean operates under the center.
They could have run to the right side of that formation. That pylon might have been available.
For London today, they had converted 52% on 3rd downs, or 46% on 3rd downs. Coming into today, that's tied. That ranks 17th, and for Chicago, they're number 1 in 3rd down percentage allowed at 22%. So it's not going to be an easy task for London to especially convert those 3rd and shorts. Here's JT Dunleavy, the kicker, number 3.
Just had a pretty standard PAT on the way.
Here's the kick is up and good from 18, so with 6:42 left. London leads Chicago 3-0. The Who You Got community poll had the Wildcats as the heavy favorites in this one.
Indeed. Here we go, Wildcats. Here we go. London looking to do something about that as they draw first blood.
And the Knights kick it deep, nestled into the arms of Davius Reed, and Reed up the middle will get knocked back to 23.
Rudely shoved down by the coverage team.
For the Chicago Wildcats, quarterback E.T. King, number 9. The backs are Ash Odom and Mike Improta is the fullback. Wide receivers are Corey Carter, Davius Reed, and Greg Soto, signed this past week, along with Benjamin Warner and Shan Varner at the tight end position. Warner is back with Odom in the 3-man backfield, and he loses a yard on his first carry.
Well, we need to bring up the Rick meter here. The Rick meter won't make an initial reading, but the staff is paying attention. Won't make an initial reading until each team has had at least one possession and maybe more. the Rick Meter and its staff is on standby.
Two tight ends, two wide receivers to the bottom of your picture, rather, as they give to Ash Odom one more time, and this time he manages to pick up 2 yards to set up a 3rd and 9. Jeff Gage, the inside linebacker from London, in on the tackle.
London defense licking their chops right here. Get the Wildcats into a 3rd and long right off the bat.
E.T. King up under center at a bunch formation to the top. One receiver to the bottom, and that is Reed. Quick drop. Oh. And down goes King. He's sacked in the backfield for a loss on the play. And that is significant for William Davidson. That is career TFL number 100 for Sir William Davidson.
Get out of town. Congratulations.
And Chicago will be forced to punt. Dustin Zeck waiting back deep. Chicago's punt is away. Good hang time. And Zeck with a nice juke move gets free. Wiggles around and gets to the London 47.
Well, the London defense, Colin, hands the London offense great field position here.
Angus McLean. He led his team to 3 points last time out. He's hoping for 7 this time. As they go, a bit of a empty gun look. Merrill is flexed on as a 3rd wide receiver along with 2 tight ends. McLean back to throw, fires down the middle, tipped, and it's intercepted. Intercepted on the play by the Wildcats. Number 54, Ryan Bartson.
Well, speaking of paying dividends, Colin, watch this. The Wildcats dropped everybody into coverage except for the 4 down linemen. And an ill-advised attempt there by Angus as it just throws into a giant crowd of everybody. Not surprising.
Wildcats take over on their own 49, 1st and 10. And for the Knights, that is turnover. Number 8. They had 7 coming into today. In fact, both teams had 7. As Ash Odom takes another carry at the middle and picks up 4 yards.
Yeah, Colin, I get, we got this good field position. We whipped off a long pass play in the previous drive. Let's go back to that. Really put some pressure on there, but you got to be more clinical about it. If that play isn't there, you don't make that throw. And they're moving the sticks with a combination of short passes and running game.
Speaking of running game, here's the first carry for Mike Ambroda up the middle before he gets sandwiched at the 46 by Cassidy.
Mikey, one of our favorites, and of course, a good friend of the Rick Meter. I think the Rick Meter and Mikey hang out quite a bit, swap stories and whatnot.
3rd down and 5, 3 wide receivers in the gun for King. Odom to his left. We'll set the London defense if we have time for you after this play. Over the middle, knocked away beautifully by the Knights. That was Tanner Hendricks, cornerback. Brady Ewing is on the other side. The linebackers are Jeff Gage and Telemac Scarborough, and the defensive linemen, Joe Duncan, William Davidson, and Zach Turner. Eric Surratt is the other defensive. 4th and 5. The punt from Duncan is away. And this will be bouncing inside the 5 to the 3. What a great play by Ron Hoff on special teams.
Yeah, the Wildcat special teams come out and make an outstanding play.
First quarter, London up 3-0. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Back here in Queensway in the United Kingdom, the London Knights are stuck on their own 5-yard line, and the handoff is to Iggy Swift, and the fullback makes good progress up to the 15, picking up almost the first down.
You can barely spit that out before they get unstuck from the 5-yard, their own 5, and get a little running room.
As we look at the series history, Chicago leads 2-1. The road team has won every matchup, and of course, London was defeated by these very Wildcats back in April last season in season 14, 44-21. Second in inches, McLean under center has Merrill in the backfield. Robert gets the carry. Hey, carries the defender past the first down marker. That's Hendershot, and that'll be good for a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10.
Not a sexy running play by any means, but it does achieve the line of gain and moves the sticks.
20 yards for each of the backs. Merrill has it on 5 carries, Swift on 3 carries. So far, McLean under center split back. Turns, gives to Swift one more time, and Iggy picks up a yard to the 18. Tackle made by Thomas. 2nd down and 9.
A little bit better down and distance for the Wildcat defense here. Put some pressure on London. They go with that full backfield again, Colin, with the single wideout.
Again, they go to Merrill, and Robert this time is stopped in the backfield for a loss by Buddy Blaze. Third down and 10 for London. Already 0 for 1. That was on a 3rd and 1, deep in Chicago territory. This one will be a tougher putt as they go from the empty gun. McLean back to throw. Quickly going deep. Oh, knocked away beautifully. Pass intended for Fox Highwind, but Jesse Vick had other ideas.
Jesse Vick nearly came down with that thing. As we take another look at it.
Highwind had the running start. He got the jump on Vick, but McLean underthrew the ball, looks like.
Yep, just underthrew it a little bit. It allowed Vick to get a hand on it. He then proceeds to bounce it off his own face mask before the ball falls incomplete.
Phil Hunter back to punt, and he better be wary of this special teams. They blocked a few punts last week, and it blocked one other punt already this season, so that's 3 as Hunter gets that away cleanly. Fielded by Reed, and Davius Reed will get tackled at his own 48.
Well, the Chicago Wildcats now will have decent field position. Let's see if they can move the ball at least for a couple of first downs. They've got the skill players, obviously.
Three men in the backfield.
They're throwing the Knights formation right back at them.
3 men in the backfield as Warner joins and thrown in the backfield here to get the Odom. Third man through, breaks the tackle, breaks the second one, and picks up 9 yards for his troubles.
Ash Blue Moon Odom shows you just how valuable he is in the backfield.
The Wildcats rushed for an average of 126 yards a game. That's 6th best in the Simulation Football League. Here again, they give to Odom out of the standard eye this time, and Odom easily picks up the first down to the London 36. One more interesting note for the London defense. Bo Martin Jr. was signed just this week to replace Devin Say at the free safety position, their nickel spot. And today is his first game, so keep an eye on that young man, see if he makes an impact in his first game.
Hopefully he's got the butterflies knocked out at this point.
Marquise Reed and Jack Russell are the other safeties, joining Martin Jr. back there. As King fires over the middle, complete for a 9-yard pickup. That is the second tight end, Benjamin Warner, who was picked in the 6th round, played his minor league season with the Ottawa Cavalry.
The Wildcats, Colin, are looking to get themselves into the red zone in a position to at least even the score.
Odom gets the carry again, picks up the first down with ease. And that's the end of the first quarter. London leads 3-0, but Chicago is on the move looking to change things. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Welcome back to London, England. The Chicago Wildcats on the move had the ball at the night 24-yard line, down 3-0 as we start the second quarter of play. E.T. King in the gun. And is immediately sacked on the play by William Davidson, sack number 2, and he came unblocked completely that time.
It's a free runner. Let's get another look at it here.
No one just picks him up. They go to double team the ends, but they forget about the big tackle in the middle.
Yep. They did double team the end. Forgot to block Davidson. Now did he just hit 100? Now is he at 101?
Yes, he's now at 101 TFLs with that last sack.
Route 101. Great Herb Alpert number. Check it out.
Here is King back to throw over the middle, complete. That is a first down to Corey Carter. Sets up a 3rd and 7 at the London 21. Rob Emms is the kicker. Came over in free agency from Las Vegas. Should they need him. Now they go bunch to the top. As E.T. King over the middle, first down. What a catch, and that is the first catch of the day for Greg Soto.
A well-delivered ball on time in the slot there, and the cross, and shallow cross picks up another first down.
He fired it over the middle, and he easily beat his defender to the ball. First down, Chicago at the night 11-yard line. There's a look at Soto. He was named offensive coordinator this week by player owner Shan Varner, as Varner looks to concentrate on more of the owner responsibilities. And Prota gets carry number 2 up the middle, and he picks up 2 yards. Deli Mac Scarborough records the tackle. Ball is marked at the 9-yard line. There's a look at Davidson's numbers. He has 3 tackles, 2 sacks. And they go Warner and Varner to the same side. Soto is the single receiver to the top. And they will run toward the double tight end side, but it won't work out, as Odom will only pick up about a yard to the 9. Or he might have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. Davidson again involved. Sets up a 3rd down and 8 from the 9.
We'll see if the London defense can stiffen up here. They didn't have much of a field to work with, as Chicago had good field position. Trying to force a field goal attempt here.
King, quick drop over the middle, touchdown, Chicago.
I guess it'll be a PAT attempt coming up for your Chicago Wildcats.
Davius Reed over the middle catches that touchdown pass on the slant cut. And he quickly knew where he wanted to go with the ball.
A little bit better coverage, too, on those 3-step drops. Colin, we saw ET gets sacked on one especially inauspicious shallow drop, didn't we, earlier? And now it looks like they've got that protection scheme worked out a little bit, except for that one accidental double team earlier in the drive, but it doesn't cost them anything as they put 6 on the board and 7.
Will now be up by 7 with 6:38 to go in the first half. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the Fan. Here in London, England, the Chicago Wildcats have taken a lead over the London Knights. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Colin Northrup. Rick Northrup is my analyst.
Yo.
Cameron Irvine is our executive producer. Art Vandelay and Benji Matson are on stats. As the London Knights return it up to the 24, as we take a look at this comparison graphic, Kalia had that nice 40-yard reception earlier. Both of these players lead their teams in receiving yardage. As you see the catches and targets for Varner, it's almost efficient. He's 15 catches, 17 targets.
Monster yards per catch, too, on those, Colin. Over 18 for both.
As Robert Merrill is stopped for a 3-yard loss in the backfield, and I think Chicago's trying to figure out this 3-man back set.
Exactly. And speaking of Chicago figuring things out, we've got our first look at the Rick meter. And the game started out leaning, the Rick meter was impressed by London going down the field and putting points on the board. But after that, London hasn't really shown much. So we're leaning Chicago. There it is. There's the Rick meter. Lean Chicago at this point.
Here is McLean back to throw, fires over the middle, complete for a nice pickup of yardage to Iggy Swift, the fullback. As you see the numbers for Angus, he has 57 yards, King has 38. But Angus has that one interception where King has been able to keep it clean.
And right on cue, the team that is not shown respect by the Rick meter tends to dial it up, further proving my personal hypothesis that teams actually play for the glory of the Rick meter.
Iggy Swift is the fullback here to get the Merrill going wide, but he's not able to get there. In fact, he loses 2 yards.
Gets mugged. Finally thrown to the turf.
Jesse Pick rubbing it in Merrill's face that he didn't get the first down.
Even throwing in the incomplete sign. Well, that's got to get him going, eh?
Davies Reed back deep to return this punt. Phil Hunter gets it away. Great hang time. And the return up the middle.
Not much yardage, but still not bad spot to take over possession there on the 30-yard line.
As again, we have E.T. King coming out against the London defense. It feels like it must be Groundhog Day. They've been on the field a lot, Rick.
They have, in that last drive, even with the short field, it felt to me like the London defense was just in a meat grinder there, play after play after play.
That was a 10-play drive last time. This throw out to Ash Odom as he breaks 2 tackles before finally going out of bounds at his own 44 continues to add to the London misery. This is how you run a swing pass, as he just stiff arms one linebacker and runs over Jack Russell too after he steamrolls Cassidy with a mean stiff arm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, excellent, and very happy about well-executed swing passes where they can get it to the receiver, not on the exactly tippy-toeing the sideline, and with a little forward momentum downfield. See what that play will produce if you can execute it properly.
37 yards on 8 carries for Odom so far. He's in the I formation. Behind him, Protas, the leap over, down the defender, runs over 2 people.
Everybody.
There goes Ash Odom, 30. He's to the 20. He's got a man chasing him with the ankle. That's Martin, who tracks him down at the 5, but it'll be 1st and goal.
Wow, thing of beauty. They just bleed blockers into the line, and Ash Odom
runs over 2 men, including Jack Russell and Marquise Reed, like he was a bowling ball facing bowling pins.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But they did. They had a lead blocker. It looked like one of the tackles got off a block and got into the linebackers, and then Ash Odom did the rest.
Odom again gets the carry, and this time he's wrapped up after pick of 2 as he goes all the way down to the 3.
And you can see how nervous London is about Ash Odom, as there's a bit of a frenzy surrounding the tackle. A lot of times, one guy grabs him, gets him, there's a solid tackle made, and boom, it's over. But there is a lot of.
That was a 51-yard run by Odom.
Thank you. Sorry about that. There's a lot of nervous energy around these tackles right now for London.
3 tight ends. They give to Odom one more time, and he gets down to the goal line, but they say he's not in. Tackle made by Jeff Gage.
So close.
The rookie linebacker who was picked in the 1st round, played his SFL minor league ball with Annapolis.
Makes a touchdown saving tackle, but it's going to be.
And again, they go to Odom, this time on a swing, and he easily gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago.
Somehow, London forgets about Odom as he's wandering out there in the flat, free as a bird. See? Whoops.
It is just too easy. The Chicago Wildcats take a 13-3 lead pending the extra point from Rob Ems with 5:08 to go in the 1st half.
Odom has time for tea on that play and still scores.
This game was a pick'em in terms of who the favorite was, and the over-under was 57.5.
Now, the fan voting was heavy Chicago.
And Rob Ems kicks through the extra point. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and for the fans, as Chicago takes control, they're up 14-3 with 5:08 in the 2nd quarter. Don't go anywhere, folks. Well, the people in Queensway are a little bit stunned as the Wildcats have scored 14 unanswered, following a 3-0 London lead, and the Knights really have to get going offensively as Dustin Zek returns it up to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at headlines from Week 4. Lone Star Glory pulls off a huge win at home. They're plus 27, but on the road they're minus 45. Louisiana takes on Mexico City next on 11 Sports and for the fans. And Charleston nor Atlanta want to get to 1-3. And Arizona continues their red hot streak as Robert Merrill continues to grind out yardage. He picks up 7. And it'll be 2nd and 3. And Rick,
Yes.
apart from the field goal drive that was 10 plays, 75 yards, the Knights have had a couple punts and an interception following that drive, with no drive being longer than 11 yards. As Angus McLean goes deep, he throws another interception. Oh no, it's Jack Hexa with 2 spins and all the way down to the London 31-yard line.
Wow, I don't know what's more impressive, the pick or the 2 spins by the DB as he almost down the field.
Hacksaw taking over
Just playing a little center field.
for Maurice Spurgeon, was signed last week, making an impact there in a huge way. Sets him up at the London 31.
Well, the Rick Mater didn't even get to talk about how London needed to score on that last drive to save themselves from going down to a full-on Chicago.
As Mike Improda goes up the middle for his best carry today, he picks up 7.
Well, you get a good look at the logo on their helmet, and I didn't realize it was that scary.
It's scary right now for London. E.T. King with a couple of touchdown passes, but no interceptions. He's got to clean in that regard. Here's the get to Improda one more time. He picks up the first down with ease to the 18. 1st and 10 for London. I tell you, Improda, he does it all. He catches the ball, he blocks for Odom, and he even gets a carry or 2, and we've seen him be effective here lately.
He's a little bit of the Swiss Army knife for the Wildcats.
He's offset in the eye as King goes deep. He has a touchdown. That's Corey Carter on the corner route. Touchdown, Chicago.
Oh my, he gets behind the secondary, and E.T. King finds him.
And look, E.T. was hit as he throws, and poor Bo Martin Jr., he was just caught back there, peeking a little too much at the quarterback.
Thought maybe he might be going down.
Tough break for that young man. It's Rob M's on for another extra point. This time it's with 3:21 to go in the first half. And the extra point is up and good, and we now have a 21-3 Wildcat lead over the London Knights. And Rick, things are going downhill in a hurry for this London team.
Yeah, they just can't seem to get off the schneid after that first drive, and it's a little early in the game, but the Rick meter is now coming out for a solid Chicago. Usually don't get a solid call until sometime in the 3rd quarter, if at all. And there's a lot of football to be played left yet, but the Rick meter's got to go with the clinical analysis of the stats, and it's solid Chicago.
Dustin Zek almost broke that one open. He gets up to the 27. That drive, 3 plays, 31 yards, 18-yard touchdown pass from E.T. King to Corey Carter. And Angus McLean, he's trying to cut down on the interceptions, but so far today has not been a good day for old Angus. Here he gives off to Robert Merrill, who spins on a man, tries to juke another, and picks up 3 yards for his troubles. That's a guy who they really need to get going, not just in the run game, but in the pass game too. Remember, he was a wide receiver for the Florida Storm forever. Most of his time with Max Paul. He played running back for a season and saw an opportunity to jump across the pond to London. They shifted into tailback. He gets the carry again, and Robert Merrill has room, has blockers, and Hacksaw brings him down at the 44.
London showing a little patience with that running game. I guess they're committed to it. I think that it might produce dividends as the game wears on, and right there, one of the better runs for the Knights.
That's now 39 yards on 11 carries for Merrill. His average is 3.5. Iggy Swift, 4 carries, 21 yards, along with a catch for 12 yards.
Of course, it's a double dip. When they're running, it means Angus isn't throwing. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Angus throws to the sideline. That is complete. First down. That is Fox Highwind.
Well thrown and on time.
And even though they got out of bounds, they're running a hurry up.
Good for them. He throws that ball late, and it's not going to be...
Over the middle, caught. First down again. That catch is made by number 83. As the 2-minute warning has elapsed here in London, the Knights down 21-3. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and for the fans, don't go anywhere. The London Knights have it 1st and 10 on the Chicago 23, and they're still in that empty set they were operating with it before the 2-minute warning. This time Angus McLean goes over the middle. Catch is made by number 83. Andy Mann sets up a 2nd and 3. Everyone gets set. And back to throw we go. Curl route over the middle, caught. First down to the 8-yard line. And that is, in fact, Dayton Rhodes, who was the 7th round draft pick, 119th overall, played his SFL minor league ball at Albuquerque. More on the SFLM in just a little bit. Here's Angus McLean under the center. Changes the play. Clock winding towards a minute. 6-step drop. Out route toward the sideline. Caught by Fox Highwind. Out of bounds at the 4. Clock stops with 1:03 left.
Well, you know, Colin, they came into the 2-minute warning on a roll, and one of the worries was maybe the 2-minute warning interrupts their momentum and their progress. But based on these last 3 plays, I would say no. They appear to be on a mission.
And the throw-in Scotsman's got him moving down the field. He's got a 3-man backfield set now. Benji Matson is in the backfield as Robin Merrill gets the carry, spins out of the tackle and scores! And he plants the sword in the end zone as London gets a touchdown on the board with just under a minute to go in the first half of play.
Well, Colin, that's impressive, was it not?
It was indeed. Oh, we didn't see the spin, but he spun in the hole to make a defender catch nothing but air.
He sort of hides himself behind the big uglies there and pops out to the right side and walks into the end zone.
This extra point will make it 21-10 game. Big momentum for London. As done.
Yes.
As JT's extra point is up and good. So it's now 21-10 game. With 59 seconds left.
Well, with London and that drive, the Rickmeter staff is up and taking notice. Still lean, solid Chicago. But there's some life in the Knights sideline, Colin.
Davius Reed returns it to the 19. It's interesting to see how Chicago will play this. Remember, they elected to kick off to start the ball game. So they went get the ball first to start the second half.
You okay there?
Let's see if they just decide to sit on the ball, run out the rest of this clock. First carry is an Ash Odom handoff. He's up to 93 yards, 7.8 yards a carry. Joe Duncan, the second-year defensive end, part of a large rookie class the Knights had in season 14, in on that tech. E.T. King under center. Six-step drop, fires to the sideline, pass is caught by Greg Soto. Put him into the ground, spun, but didn't get out of bounds. The clock was running.
Call a timeout. You guys can have some life.
And again, they'll run a play. Out route to Soto, and this time he gets out of bounds with 6 seconds left to pick up 9.
Oh, my. Well, they could have called the timeout and maybe had 3 more plays in their back pocket. As it is, they've got time for probably 1.
There's a look at Soto. Made 2 big catches the previous 2 plays. He's out at the very top of this Hail Mary formation.
Only 3 rush linemen. They bring a linebacker for 4.
And he ducks under a sack. Oh, and he almost got it away, but it's incomplete. Joe Duncan made sure he didn't throw it to the end zone. And we've reached the end of the first half. 21-10, Chicago in front, but London with some momentum with that last touchdown drive of theirs. Rick, as we think about the first half, what are your thoughts?
Well, as we look at the stats, look at the TOP. It's very even. And, 2 turnovers, that's part of the difference right there. But total yardage is about the same. So interesting how that's fairly even. The scoreboard is not, or maybe not yet, as your London fans might tell us.
Vin Khalil with that 40-yard catch on the first drive played a big part in setting up that field goal. You see the numbers for E.T. King, under 100 yards, but 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. And speaking of interceptions, that one was pretty great off the tip drill by the linebacker there.
Yep, and I think it appears that London may be, continuing to be committed to a significant proportion of their game being the run game. And if they could just get a little bit better decision-making out of Angus, which he should be making better decisions, he knows how. I like what the second half might be for them. They can keep that up.
How about this guy? Ash Odom was a wrecking ball on that particular play, a run of 51 yards.
Yeah. The infirmary is filled with defenders that Ash Odom ran over here in the first half.
Speaking
or
of
juked out of their socks.
Speaking of getting people out of their socks, Jack Hacksaw with 2 great spins on that interception. And then, of course, this gorgeous pass to Corey Carter in the end zone. He has 27 yards and 1 touchdown. And then, of course, Robin Merrill right here doing the spin move before Hendershot can get it speed on him, and he just follows his way to the end zone. You know, when you're 5'11", 210, it's easy to hide behind your offensive line when you're that small, but you need some moves too when you get a linebacker like Hendershot right in your path. There's Greg Soto. He had a couple of catches before the half. Remember, Chicago will receive the ball first to start the third quarter.
Let's get a good look at the packed house here in London. They love their football.
They're American football.
Both kind. Hey, here in London, we like both kinds of football, English and American. Here at the Bob's Country Bunker, we like both kinds of music, country and western.
Dunleady's kick is deep to Reed, who fields this at his goal line coming out. And Davius Reed had a bit of a hole for a moment, but it closed up quickly. Let's take a look at Greg Soto. He was born in Cuba, came to the United States at age 3, now lives in Indianapolis, Indiana, and enjoys going to IMSA races and trying to work in real estate after being working in college admissions. And due to his heritage, his nickname is the Cuban Missile.
I love it. One of the many great people and personalities in the league, Colin.
As Ash Odom gets it, another catch and runs over poor Jack Russell. That's the second time he's been steamrolled by Odom in the open field. As you take a look at the numbers for both quarterbacks, McClain may have the yardage, but King has the touchdown passes.
Let's see if the London defense, Colin, can withstand the onslaught here and slow down the Wildcats on this possession.
1st and 10 at the 40. Here's the get to Odom. Trying to fight through traffic, does, but only manages to pick up 3 yards on the play. Tackle made by Eric Surratt at defensive end. Picked in the 5th round of a loaded rookie draft class for all SFL teams.
Oh!
And William Davidson brings him down. That's sack number 3 for the big fella.
Man, when he gets in there, Colin, it's like a knife. He just bang, slices right through there. And one thing I noticed about him too, Colin, is a lot of times guys will get a free run at the QB and they're vulnerable to the juke or the sidestep. So far, he makes nothing but sure-handed solo tackles.
There's Davidson. He's got his ears pinned back on 3rd and 14, but they make the first down. Davius Reed to the London 39, and they run that 4-wide set, and Reed
just reaches out at full stride and snags that thing in front of him. Watch this. Boom.
Who spent the
There's a better look at it.
Who's now in his 4th year with these Wildcats. 6 seasons overall in this SFL. First and 10. Ash Odom up the middle, runs over the defender, and showed him. Oh, I thought he had the touchdown, but Jack Russell had the angle, as Odom is averaging almost a first down every time he carries the ball.
Hats off to Jack Russell, and you've been calling his name a lot here, Colin. He tracks him down and brings him down. 2 separate things when you're trying to tackle Ash Odom. Can you get to him, and can you actually make an effective tackle?
They go I formation, and Proda close, Odom deep. Here Gibson, Proda second man through, ran right into that blitz off that left-hand side. And no gain for Odom there, as Scarborough is among the tacklers.
Even the jack of all trades in Proda can't wiggle through that stacked line right there.
Here is E.T. King in the shotgun by himself, trips to the bottom. He's to throw over the middle, complete to Corey Carter, and Carter gets down to the 7-yard line. And for Carter, that was his third catch for 33 yards, had that touchdown earlier. As we get split back, so 3rd and 5, they have to get to the 2 for a first down. 7 for a touchdown. E.T. King, quick drop, throws, outcut.
Oh.
Reed got the first down, but he could have scored if the pass was a little more on target. Had to fall backwards to catch that one.
He had to rotate around and wasn't able to maintain his footing. But that's okay. 1st and goal for the Wildcats here, Colin.
3 men in the backfield. Warner joining in Proda, along with Odom. Here's the get to Odom, and he scores a touchdown. And for Ash Odom, that's only his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Chicago Wildcats take the opening kickoff of the second half and drive down for a 1-yard touchdown run by that man, Ash Odom.
An impressive response to London's challenge and narrowing the gap at the end of the first half.
Rob Ems to try the extra point attempt. In the drive summary, it's 9 plays, 77 yards, and that was a 2-yard rushing touchdown by Ash Odom. This is now 28-10 with 7:06 left in the third. Chicago out in front.
Indeed. Hey, if you're new to the Simulation Football League, you're watching the first controlerless esport where strategy and AI instead of thumbs determine the outcome. Teams submit game plans prior to the simulation, and the results play out live in real time with hundreds of viewers, turned players, scouts, coaches, and team owners on the field to create an all-new kind of virtual reality. Visit www.simulationfl.net for more information.
It's been featured in many wide-ranging publications, including Game Informer and Forbes, as you saw up there. Dustin Zek returns it up to the 23. And for London, you got to feel like you're back at square one. You got a touchdown before halftime to cut into this lead a little bit. Now all of a sudden you're down by multiple scores again.
Right, you were feeling pretty good. You moved the ball. You narrowed the gap right before halftime. The Rick Meter was talking about maybe having to make some moves, but Chicago comes and puts that dagger right in you again.
Just like that time as Clint Endershot came out of a cannon and wrapped up Merrill for a loss of 143 yards on 13 carries for Merrill, as well as that touchdown before the end of the half.
Well, I do think that Chicago's vulnerable to the right mix of play calling here, and let's see if London can pull that off, and they also depend on Angus for good decision-making.
Angus goes slant over the middle. Oh, I thought it was going to be caught by Zek, but it was knocked out of his hands at the last minute by a Wildcat defender. 3rd and 11. It's Hendershot. That's an inside linebacker playing. No, that was who was that? That was Yosef. Ryan Yosef, who had the interception earlier, the strong safety making that hit.
That brings up 3rd and long. Angus should be taking a deep drop here. And let's hope they can. The receivers can find a little soft spot in the secondary.
Trips to the bottom as they go empty. Angus McLean has plenty of time back to throw. Has all day. Has to duck around. Gerald Judas as he finally throws a pass complete to Vin Kalia. We have a flag on the play. Looks like somebody might have stepped out of bounds and then came back in. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, no.
We'll see.
The illegal touching.
Oh, we had an ineligible downfield. One of the offensive tackles and his
wandering down a little bit downfield a little too much.
That was Payne, I believe, trying to block either Thomas or Mar Rivers.
Well, 3rd and much longer. And Angus did have somebody open down the middle early in that last play, but
he won't have time to find him now. Khalil Thomas sacks him back at the 9.
Oh my. So let's see where that ball gets spotted.
And that was on Payne, the offensive tackle who got caught downfield.
So they go from 3rd and 11 to 4th and 24 and punting from your own end zone.
Phil Hunter tries to get away, and Davius Reed will set him up in great field position at the London 32. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and for the fans, Chicago firmly in control of 28-10. Don't go anywhere. Back here, the Chicago Wildcats firmly in control, and this one on the road against London. 1st and 10 at the 32. Ash showing them up the middle. Will pick up 2 yards to the 29, and you see the numbers. Ash Odom 127, 7.5 yards a carry, 1 rushing touchdown each for Merrill and Odom.
Yeah, Merrill's 3 plus, almost 4 yards per carry. That's not bad, but of course overshadowed by Odom's play.
As up the middle goes Odom, sets up a 3rd and 4 from the London 26. As we take a look at the key stat from today, passing touchdown passes allowed. London's already allowed 3 today. That brings their number up to 9. Both were tied at 11th coming in. Here is the give up the middle to Odom on 3rd and 4, and it's good for the 1st down.
Yeah, we were talking during the break, Colin, going back to that punt, and it was not Phil's best effort there. I don't know if we've got a stat on it, but it seemed to be about all of a 31-yard punt. There was a comment in the chat that he couldn't even punt it out of my own field goal range, and that's just too bad. Maybe mishit it. Looked like he might have short-legged it a little bit, but there wasn't a lot of pressure, so maybe a mishit.
Ash Odom again picks up 4 yards. Slim Shady, linebacker for the Las Vegas Fury, one-time London Knight, says it's a shame we don't track broken tackles. And I have to agree with Slyn on that one. I think Ash Odom would be among the league leaders in that category.
Right. The visual inspection says Ash Odom is the leader of the clubhouse, at least today. Anyway.
Mike Improda with the carry, and Improda trying to get past the line, but they'll rule it for no gain. Wayne Davidson, another tackle. That's now 6 for Big Will. So we have a 3rd down and 5 for Chicago. They are 5 of 7 on 3rd down. King to throw, end zone touchdown. That is Greg Soto, and he catches another touchdown to put him up 34-10.
Man, you've been calling his name all afternoon. What a game he's having. He's got himself a nice little celebration there. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe you know. I'm not the target audience for that stuff.
Marquise Reed almost had the interception, but it was just out of reach.
when you get older, you stop becoming the target audience for a lot of stuff. That just adds insult to injury right there.
Rob M's tried a PAT. He's been busy today. And it's now 35-10. With 3:02 left in the third. Chicago firmly in control. Now up 35-10. We're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Welcome back to London, England, and Vin Kalia has been a big player for London. This is a 70-yard touchdown against the Louisiana Revolution. He has one catch for 40 yards, Rick, and definitely need him if they want to make something out of this game.
Yep. They've got to employ their weapons. Their skilled players have to step up. And this game is, if not out of hand, dangerously close to being out of hand if you're London.
As you take a look at that highlight, the first career 100-yard game, first 100-yard plus game of the season for Vin. Part of a young core of Knights that were drafted last year, 6'2", 201. So far, he has that one catch for 40 yards that they got on the first drive that led to their field goal. But other than that, he's been quiet.
Yeah, I think London needs the new Knights to step up, or they're going to get relegated from the round table to the kids' table here.
I don't know about that.
I crack myself.
Angus McLean, the throwing Scotsman, not the flying Scotsman, but the throwing Scotsman, has had difficulty today in terms of keeping the ball out of defenders' hands. He turns and gives to Robin Merrill, and Merrill has all kinds of running room. Up the middle, gets a block from Swift and picks up 9 yards for his trouble.
Dangerously close to a first down there for Robert Merrill.
Second and inches. Ball at the 35-yard line.
3 men in the backfield. Benji Matson next to Iggy Swift. As Merrill will get racked up in the backfield for a loss of 1. Buddy Blaze in on the tackle. Sets up a 3rd and 2. And for Blaze, he's had 5 tackles today. And that is his first one for a TFL. Here to get to Merrill one more time, and he gets the first down. Tackle made by player coach, the Wildcats defensive coordinator, Kanye Rockefeller.
Nice to see Rockefeller get in the game, and good on Merrill. Nothing too fancy. He does put a spin move in there, but he just needs to pick up that first down and retain possession. That all starts with a crawl, walk, run process for London as they look to try and put 7 on the board here out of this drive, Colin.
Angus McLean back to throw, throws it out, complete to Andy Mann for a pickup of 4.
Number 26 with the tackle.
If you want to get in on the action and chat with our community here in the Simulation Football League, visit FTF Next Twitch channel. There's so many people in there. There's Mar Rivers, there's Jack Hacksaw, there's Mike and Proda, and Rob Ems, among many others. And Vin Kalia makes a catch out of bounds at the line of 49. His second. That's good enough for first.
First down, Blackbirds. Let's go. First and 10. Ball at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, first and 10 at the London 49. Angus McLean takes the shotgun snap, fires down the field, and is caught by Dayton Rhodes, running a fly pattern down the middle of the field. First down, London.
That's the Angus McLean we like to see. Both he and Rhodes are on the same page. I guess they've studied together, has that Rhodes scholar.
Oh, I get it. Because of the nearby Oxford thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Stop explaining my jokes.
Here is Angus McLean. 6-step drop down the middle of the field. One-handed
Nice.
catch. One-handed catch by Vin Kalia. That's now 4 for 84 yards.
Elevate the game to snag that one out of the air. Get another look at it here, Colin.
Nice drop. Whoa, right in between. And Ryan Yosef bringing the wood. That's the end of the third quarter. 35-10 Chicago in front, but London trying to make things interesting. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after commercial break. Everyone, put your fours up in the chat as we start the fourth quarter of play. I'm Colin Northrup. He's Rick Northrup.
Yo.
And the London Knights trying to make things interesting late. They have a first and goal from the Wildcat 4. Robert Merrill gets to the 2. That'll be second and goal. Tackle made by Gerald Giudicetti and Ryan Yosef.
So the real interesting question is who actually owns the fourth quarter? Everybody says they own the fourth quarter, but who actually owns the fourth quarter? We'll talk about that more in other broadcasts, but the Rick Meter staff has some thoughts on that.
Angus McLean under center, turns, gives to Merrill again. He loses to Jesse Vick on the TFL. Third and goal from the 4.
Yeah, there's some discussion in the chat, Colin. Does Robert Merrill have a little sand in his feet or something? Today seems a little slow. I don't know about that as much as maybe Chicago is keys on him and always seems to be in his vicinity.
2 tight ends on the line for London. Empty backfield for McLean. They'll put this in the air. Quick drop. Slant over the middle. Oh, knocked away. Looking for Fox Island, but Ryan Yosef had other ideas.
Lucky that wasn't INT number 3 for Angus.
And I would think they would try a field goal here, if I'm not mistaken.
They need points. And so 3 is better than potentially 0, I suppose. They are not going to have that many possessions left, which is an argument for going for it. They're going to take 3 here.
This is from the right hash. JT Dunleavy from 20 yards is good. He made one from 18, so he's 2 for 2. and London makes it a 35-13 game with 9:55 to go.
It's just in from the Rick meter. Not impressed. Still solid Chicago. Rick meter is still solid Chicago. There it is. It's official. We have a graphic. Thank you, Cam, putting together that graphic.
Dunleavy's kick is up to Davius Reed, who wanders around to the 21-yard line.
Not a bad return for having to take it out, taking it a yard deep in the end zone.
Upcoming games, the Crowd Play Game of the Week. Remember, $1,000 prize pool. Louisiana takes on Mexico City, coming up at 4:30. In Portland at Carolina, and Las Vegas at Sioux Falls on our SFL Twitch and YouTube channel.
What times are those?
Those are 4:30 and 8.
And 8:15?
8:15 and 8 o'clock.
Pay no attention to the time on that graphic. Believe
As
me now
a-
and listen to me later.
Corey Carter makes a diving catch. That's his 4th catch for 48 yards. Has that 1 touchdown. E.T. King, 2 incompletions and 4 touchdowns. Can't get much more efficient than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, there's another long completion for E.T. King. Oh, another first down for Chicago.
Oh, look, Ash Odom ran over somebody.
Oh, look, 3
E.T.
broken tackles for Ash Odom. Oh, my gosh. Chicago has been very impressive here, Colin. That's our backhanded compliment to the Wildcats.
And Odom picks up 1 yard. And that guy has been fairly quiet today. Zach Turner. If you remember when he was picked, he was so excited he was dancing around with an elephant head on camera in front of all to see. That was one of the more memorable things that came out of this year's rookie draft. And speaking of memorable people, here's Mike Improta up the middle, picks up yardage to the 42 to set up a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and thank you, Mike and Proto, for the shout out on the chat. Appreciate it. As always, appreciate all the fans. I get why you listen to Colin. I'm not sure why people listen to me, but I'll take it. And very impressive day so far. It's not even over for Chicago.
3 wide receivers, 2 to the bottom. King is sacked, and this time it's William Davidson again. Oh my gosh. That's another sack for one of the original Knights.
So, speaking of impressive things, there are some impressive things for London Knights, and William Davidson has been one this afternoon, this evening, if you are in the UK.
Here is the kick from Travis Warren, and fair catch called by Dustin Zeck. It came to my attention earlier in the chat that it is Travis Warren's birthday today. So, Travis, if you're watching, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, young man. Happy birthday.
Don't forget to follow us at all the social media outlets: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Simulationfl. Here's Angus McLean, gives to Robin Merrill and stopped at the line of scrimmage. And Buddy Blaze has been like a vacuum on Robin Merrill. He's had 6 tackles, 3 TFLs. Solid day for the outside linebacker.
Yep, part of the reason Merrill has not been able to sort of be Robert Merrill.
Quick drop from McLean, slant over the middle, tipped and intercepted. That was tipped by a linebacker and caught by Clint Hendershot, and it's been that kind of day, unfortunately, for this lad Angus McLean.
Yeah, I don't know. McLean might just not be seeing the field that well. As you know, okay, looks open for a second, but he's got to understand there were 5 other Wildcats that were in there, and a couple and their routes, coverage routes, were going to come right into his throwing lane. McLean just obviously having an off day today. Not sure the reason why. I know the Chicago boys will tell you that it's their skilled secondary.
E.T. King tried to throw an out, cut to the sideline, but he led his man too far. Don't forget to download the Crowdplay app. That's a $1,000 prize pool for Android and iOS. It's plenty fun, Rick. You get to play the game within the game.
All right.
That is happening at 4:30 as the undefeated Louisiana Revolution visit the Mexico City Aztecs in Mexico. I showed him up the middle. Will pick up yardage down to the 27 to set up a 3rd and 3. And I'm getting an interesting stat from Shan Varner in the chat. That is now 6 interceptions for Clint Endershot.
Wow.
In his career, which is pretty impressive for a linebacker of Hendershot's size. He's 6'4", 235, and Ash Odom got stopped in the backfield for a loss. Rob Ems, though, will try about a 47-yard field goal.
Yeah, well, Hendershot's got some skills, and that allows them to drop him into coverage, and it always helps your defensive scheming and flexibility.
As we take a look at Odom's numbers coming into today, Rick, he had 1 rushing touchdown, and which was placed him with one of 7 halfbacks with 1 rushing touchdown coming in. He picked up rushing touchdown number 2, and Rob Ems with a 46-yard field goal makes it a 38-13 game. And Rick, the over-under was 57.5 coming in, and I think
So we're at 51 now.
so. If you took the under,
You're okay, but there's still 6 minutes to go. Right. Yeah, I was going to say for Hendershot, being able to drop a linebacker into coverage and have quality coverage, which is represented by his interception totals, really gives your defense a lot of flexibility and makes you improves your effectiveness on defense.
Dustin Zeck returns it up to the 26. Danny Stenson, no problem, but I happy to do it for your friend, Mr. Warren there.
Everybody got to have their birthday recognized.
Some even take it into a birthday week, like this guy to my right.
Hello, everybody should get on board with the concept actually of the birthday fortnight, 10 days of birthday.
Here's Iggy Swift, his 2nd reception, and that won't go in the direction they'd like, as Angus McLean is now down to 170. He's had the 3 interceptions. Rough day at the office for Angus, who assumed the position of team president in the offseason for these Knights.
The rule around the birthday fortnight is the birthday fortnight always ends on the weekend. So whenever your birthday is, you calculate that next weekend, and that's the end of it.
Vin Kalia with another catch. That should put him up over 90 yards. He's closing in on 100. That's catch number 5.
Second rule of the birthday fortnight is if your birthday is on a Sunday, you add an extra day because you always have to have a day after your birthday to still be your birthday. And then the third rule is you make sure all of your family members know it's your birthday fortnight, and then they have to treat you like it's your birthday every day of your fortnight birthday. I don't know why some people, Colin, can't get down with that.
3 wide receivers, Angus McLean. Outcut, that is Dustin Zeck, a 4-yard catch. Get out of bounds at his own 41. This is a young man who played halfback in the minor leagues with the San Jose Flight. And I'll talk more about the minor leagues coming up after this play. We have a 2nd down, 6. That was a 4-yard pickup. Benji Matson, he's been more of the blocking tight end in this game. He has 940 receiving yards coming in. Robert Merrill will get stopped on the line of scrimmage, and here we go with the hurry up. 3rd down at 5. Angus changing the play. Get to Merrill again. Doesn't wait for his blockers to set up, and he gets knocked back at his own 42.
4th and 4 from the London 43.
And they're going to go for it. No surprise, really. Angus under center. Quick drop back. Fires down the field. Caught for the first down. And here they go with the hurry up. That was Fox Highwind. And Angus, 7-step drop. Rainbows down the field. Caught! All the way down to the 8-yard line. That's Highwind again.
Well, call me the most surprised guy on that one.
Now they go quick this time over the middle. Dustin Zeck to the 3-yard line. London's got Chicago on the run. Going for the end zone.
Oh,
Touchdown! Fox Highwind with the score.
Right. Foxy score there as he's in the end zone for the touch. Signaled by the referee.
And the 3rd-round pick catches that ball in the end zone.
It's an excellent play. Oh, suddenly we've been joined by the footballer commentary team there, Colin.
The extra point to make it a 38-20 game.
What do the English call this? That to be the bonus point. They place the ball. It's up. It's through. It's good.
So with 3:20 to go in the ball game, London has cut it to a 38-20 game. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fan. The London Knights cut it to a 38-20 game with 3:20 left.
And in the process, they hit
the over. They tried the onside. It didn't work. Yuya Iba fell on the ball. And get your player position locked and loaded today through our Discord server in the SFL Minor League SFLM. Now with 12 teams, there's more opportunities than ever to be the player you always wanted to be. Join our Discord community through simulationfootball.net. The 2nd season of the SFL Minor League starts in October of 2020. Contact Deputy Commissioner Andrew Rostelli on Discord for more information. And Rick, we've seen a lot of rookies come up through SFLM and make a huge impact.
We have. It's a great way to get your feet wet, get your player going, and yeah, you if you're good and you're making an impact there, the SFL is going to want you, as we've seen.
And a lot of these rookies have shown to be really flexible. We've had guys who were halfbacks come be wide receivers and so on and so forth. So there's plenty of flexibility there, even if your primary position is full. And Ash Odom has been full of a lot of those great runs today. He gets to the 32 for the first down as we are quickly approaching the 2-minute warning.
Hey, typically, as we've seen this afternoon or this evening, dragging defenders with him, even for a few extra yards, even on short yardage plays.
1st and 10 at the 32. And Mike and Proto lined up as almost an H-back on the line as we reach the 2-minute warning. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and for the fans, Chicago in control, 38-20. Stick around after this commercial break. Welcome back to London, England. The Knights are trailing the Chicago Wildcats 38-20, and the Wildcats looking to salt this one away. But Ash Odom tackled in the backfield by Joe Duncan for a loss of 2.
London begins burning their timeouts in an attempt to get the ball back at least one more time before the end of the contest. Colin, we didn't even get to a uniform discussion. When you think of the London, is there red? Is there a certain color? Is there like a swanky, like the Queen's Guard red or something? I know it's not that, but it's not that bright. Where'd that come from?
I'll get to that in a moment as the backup quarterback tosses it out to Ash Odom, who stays in bounds. He set up a 3rd and 9. It's a dark red, and they're calling it their all-red set. Of course, the lion head has significance throughout history as a prominent English symbol. And for these Wildcats, they're wearing all white with gray helmets. Up the middle goes Bovine. That is Enrico Bovino, actually, correction. And
Wow.
Rob Ems will be on for another field goal attempt, which for the betting public just throws more salt in the wound.
Right. Well, it's funny you should mention the lion. People may not know, Colin, but family history includes the Tracys, which were the ancestral overlords of Gloucestershire. They were the sheriffs of Gloucestershire and members of Parliament. And their family crest had the English lion on it. And there's a nice long field goal
By Rob Ems, who has been tremendous today.
Or is it the rugby try is good? It's good.
He's 2 of 2 with a long of 46.
Rob Ems has a go. He converts. Adds insult to injury as the Wildcatters from Chicago take a 41-20 lead.
Ems kicks it away. It's going to be fielded by Dustin Zek at about his own 3-yard line, and Zek returns it up to the 27. So the Knights have no timeouts left and 1:38 to work with. This is good. This is going to be a good exercise in the 2-minute drill.
Exactly. And people say, well, why put so much effort into burning your timeouts and going into the hurry up when you're down by so much at the end of the game? But it's a practice. It's live practice, and you want to get some things going that you can build on and work out some kinks on, and hopefully get some score, get some production out of it.
Here's Angus McLean. Has to dump it off to the side, and Merrill got out of bounds for no gain.
I think he was out of bounds. But don't underestimate the emotional advantage or edge that it can give a team, especially in offense, at the end of the game, to put a drive together, to do a few things right. Kind of gets the bad taste out of your mouth from the earlier part of the game.
Angus McLean in the gun, back to throw. Over the middle, caught for the first down, and that is Dustin Zek. Pop fly down the field, knocked away. I was looking for Kalia, but Kanye Rockefeller had other ideas.
I guess the chat doesn't like my Richard Attenborough impression. Sorry about that. I don't get paid to do an English accent, so I'll probably stop.
There's the numbers for Kalia. He's up over 100 yards for the first time since that game versus Louisiana. 112 yards on 6 receptions, 7 targets. Another throw for Angus down the middle, complete. And that is now 7 catches as Kalia hauls in that one. Angus throws to the sideline. It is caught by Fox Highwind, who didn't get out of bounds.
He can't quite reach the sideline. Clock keeps moving. Short yardage for the first.
Angus steps up in the pocket, fires over the middle, caught for the first down to the 10. Under 30 seconds to go. And now the Knights look like they're going to spike the ball. And they do with 22 seconds left.
Getting accent coaching in the chat.
From Slin Shady, a true Englishman in every sense of the word.